Hi there everyone and welcome back to another Tom Voyage video. So it's been a while since I've done an updated dough recipe. The last one I did was about a year ago and I've made some improvements to my recipe since then. So in this video I wanted to share with you my new and up-to-date beginner's dough recipe. Let's go! So the dough recipe I'm about to share with you today is super easy to do. It only takes about 24 hours, although you can leave it up to 48 hours if you wanted to. It's very basic. It only uses 4 ingredients of flour, water, salt and yeast. And it's great to use on your pizza ovens that cook around 400 degrees or 850 degrees Fahrenheit, such as the Ooni pizza ovens. So this dough is a 62% hydration, which means it's nice and stretchy, but it doesn't get too sticky, which makes it ideal for beginners. And from this recipe, you'll end up with 6 270 gram dough balls, which is the ideal size for a thicker crust 14-inch pizza or a thin crust 16-inch pizza. Let's get started. So for this recipe, you will need 1,000 grams of flour. I'm using 00 Caputo flour. You'll need 620 grams of room temperature water, 30 grams of fine sea salt, and 1 gram of active dry yeast. Now you can use fresh yeast. I actually prefer to use fresh yeast, but I didn't have any in today. If you are using fresh yeast, use 2 grams instead of 1 gram. So to kick things off, we're going to put our yeast directly into our room temperature water. Make sure to get it all in. Then we're just going to leave that to stand and hydrate for about 2 minutes. So after a couple of minutes, the yeast should start to dissolve. You can go ahead and give it a mix, just to make sure it's fully incorporated. Next, we're going to take our mixer with the dough hook attachment and put our flour on. Now you can mix by hand, of course. If you're mixing using a mixer, I would say you'd mix for about 6 or 7 minutes. Whereas if you're going to mix and knead this by hand, you'd need to do it for about 10 minutes. But really it's about the consistency. The dough needs to be a nice smooth ball when it's ready. So with the mixer running, we're going to slowly add our yeast and water mixture. Now as that's coming together, we're going to gradually add our sea salt. And now we're going to leave that mixing for about 6 or 7 minutes until it's a nice smooth ball and nothing's sticking to the sides. So after a few minutes, you can see our dough is all coming away from the sides and it's all together in one piece. So let's remove it from the bowl and put it onto a floured work surface. So as it's summertime here in the UK, it's actually quite humid today, which has meant my dough ball is quite sticky. Still looking good though, so if your dough ball comes out quite sticky like this, you can just leave it for like 5 minutes uncovered. Let it dry out a bit and then roll it into a nice ball. So in order to get this into a nice smooth ball, one of the techniques that I've seen lots of pizza chefs using is to pick the dough up like this and you kind of pull it back on itself. You see how it's now starting to form a bit more of a smoother, tight ball. And you can just keep going until you're happy with the smoothness of it. Okay, so our dough ball is looking nice and smooth. It's not too wet, it's not too sticky. So now we're ready for the first proof. And to do the first proof in bulk, I'm using this. It's a 7.5 litre or 8 quarts tub. Just place the dough in there. I've also put some oil on this as well, just to help the dough stop sticking. And then we're going to put an airtight lid on this and leave it for about 6 hours at room temperature for the first proof. So as you can see, our dough has now risen nicely during that first proof. So we're going to get it out of this tub and divide it up into 6 equal parts. So to divide our dough balls up, you'll need some flour, your scales, your dough obviously, a dough scraper. This one's from GI Metal, it's a really nice one. And then a proving box as well. Now if you don't have one of these proving boxes, you can just use a metal sheet pan and wrap it tightly in cling film. As long as it's airtight, that's the main thing. Okay, so our dough is all balled up and around the same size. So now we're going to do the second proof on this one, which is in the fridge. Now, I usually go for about 18 hours in the fridge, but you can go 24 hours and anywhere up to 48 hours and they'll be fine. I just wouldn't recommend going over 48 hours. What you will need to remember is to take your dough out of the fridge about an hour and a half before you want to cook, because these dough balls need to be at room temperature to go on the oven. So our dough balls have been in the fridge for about 18 hours and they now look like this. So I've taken them out about an hour ago just to let them come up to room temperature. And in that time, we got our Ooni Karu 12G fired up. So now let's go and prepare a pizza and you can see what these look like when they're cooked. By the way, if you like this video, please remember to give me a like and subscribe. And if you wanted to buy any of the products you see in this video, including the Ooni Karu 12G, you can use the links in the description. It doesn't cost any more money to you, but it helps me out with a bit of commission so we can carry on making these kinds of videos. Okay, let's get these pizzas made. So here we have our chicken, mushroom and andouja pizza. This is one of my personal favorites on the dough that we've just made. So let's put it on the uni and see how it cooks. Okay, so here is our pizza cooked on that dough we just made. As you can see, it gives a nice crispy crust. It'll be nice and bubbly inside as well. And on the bottom, it bakes really well too. Now I messed the shape up with this one. It's more of an oval shape because I messed up the launch, didn't put enough semolina on the base, but never mind. I'm still sure it's gonna taste great. So there you go guys, there's my new and improved dough recipe. Let me know in the comments section below what you think of it. So thanks very much for watching this video. If you did enjoy it, please remember to like and subscribe, and please join us next time for more pizza making videos.